What's good, Panther Nation? It's your boy Myron McRae, a.k.a. Tornado McRae, across the skies of the internet, here with another episode of Panther Pride TV, your one-stop shop for all your Panther notifications and your Panther obligations. And happy Wednesday, happy hump day to all of you lovely guys, gals, theys, thems, and everything in between. Hope y'all are having a great day. Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. We got a few things on the docket, on the agenda here that we must address, that we got to talk about. And honestly, it's going to be a little bit of a longer, more info-filled video. Hence why this might be going up a little later, but that's okay. Because first thing that's come up on my docket, which I did not anticipate this rumor at all, is a trade for a former DPOY out in Pittsburgh. So here's the thing. Mitchell Milani has posted another video on Bleacher Report talking about landing spots and trade suggestions for a particular player. This player in particular is actually one TJ Watt. Now, TJ Watt being on the trading block, I ain't never heard of it. I don't believe that any which way, that way, or whatever in between. But he said if TJ's on the trading block, here are 7 teams he listed, and one of them happened to be the Carolina Panthers. And here's what he said a trade proposal for TJ Watt would come out to be. He said TJ Watt obviously would be going to Carolina, and Carolina would be giving up DJ Wanham, a 2026 second-round pick, and then both a second and third-round pick in the 2027 draft. Now, he said he was more on the back end and being really lenient in terms of this and saying, yeah, this makes sense. They would get – this is actually a cheaper deal for Carolina in his mind, and this is actually a good deal for us going forward with that. Now, guys, before I give y'all my rundown and my thought about that, let's look at it. Accolades-wise, we know who TJ Watt is, bro. 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, 3-time league leader in sacks, the 2021 Defensive Player of the Year, and honestly should have won it the year before last when they gave it to Myles Garrett. He beat Myles Garrett in every stat. And then he's also available as he's played in 15 games or more in 7 of his 8 seasons. And then you back that up with just the stats on the field itself. Bro, in his 8 years, TJ Watt has put up 462 total tackles, 331 by himself, 108 sacks, 33 forced fumbles, and 7 interceptions. So, I'm saying all that to say this. Trading for TJ Watt makes absolutely no sense for Carolina. No. Like, I know some of you are going to look at me and be like, what do you mean? Why doesn't that make sense? Bro, listen. We can't afford a TJ Watt. I'm going to keep it 100, a stack, 1,000, a Billy Watt. Like, we can't afford a TJ Watt, and if I know Pittsburgh, they're going to ask for more than that. TJ Watt, his contract is more than what we can pay for that man. We would just have to give up too many assets for TJ Watt. And then not only that, TJ Watt is going into year 9. His brother, JJ, only lasted 12 years. And truth be told, I wouldn't be surprised if TJ's like, you know what, I'm in my final 2-3 year stint. Like, I'm soon done, because outside of winning a Super Bowl, what else does TJ Watt have to prove that he's one of the best defensive players to play this game? I'm not saying he's the greatest, but he's definitely in the conversation as one of the most dominant forces, especially in the Steelers' history, as one of the most disruptive forces on the defensive side of the ball. TJ has nothing to prove, bro. Outside of winning a Super Bowl, TJ Watt has nothing to prove. So going to get a TJ Watt makes no sense for Carolina, who is trying to build on a foundation that they can look forward to in the future. Now, if you want to get TJ Watt for vet purposes, maybe. But going to get TJ Watt, to me, that just throws a lot of things in the loop, because he's a linebacker, mainly an outside linebacker. So now, Emmanuel and Scorton, hey, one of y'all might have to take a back seat to the vet coming in. Then, not only that, you have Wanham and the rest of the crew that rotated at outside linebacker. What are we doing there? You want to throw him on the D-line? Like, what's the point of bringing Derek Derek Brown, Wharton, and all of them in here. Like, what you see what I'm saying? And money-wise, we got JC paid. We're probably going to have to pay Chuba soon. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. To me, it doesn't make sense. Y'all might think it does, and if you think it does, put that in the comment section below of how it would make sense. But I'm telling you right now, trading for TJ Watt does not make sense. Mitchell Milani, I think this was just rage bait to get me, and if you did, you got it. Because, bro, nah. I don't get how some of these rumors happen, bro, and I get it. You know what? These wild rumors give us content. They get content from me out of this, so I guess it makes sense in the end. I don't know. Next, bro, we have Carolina's to-do list that needs to be done prior to week 1. Now, this is coming from another gentleman at Bleacher Report. This was actually Christopher Knox. And Chris, he's usually on point. I'll give Chris that. He's usually pretty solid in the ballpark about where he thinks stuff should fall and where things should land. And so he did a list for every team saying what every team needs to do, giving them 3 highlights, what they need to do before week 1. And for Carolina, here's what Chris said we need to do. 1, dial up a wide receiver competition. 2, extend Ike Ekwonu. And 3, find cornerback help. Those are the 3 things that he said. And here's what he had to say about each position. So first off, obviously, you have the wide receiver competition. He says this. Carolina did take steps to bolster its receiver room this offseason. It used the first-round pick on Arizona's Tedero McMillan, drafted Colorado's Jimmy Horn Jr. in round 6, and brought former Las Vegas Raiders Pro Bowler Hunter Renfrow as a free agent. It'll be up to head coach Dave Canales to set up a receiver competition, one that involves the new additions, veteran Adam Thielen, and 2024 first-round pick Xavier Legette. That will yield the best possible receiving core. All right, I see what he's saying there. Number 2, which was extending Icky, he said this. Meanwhile, general manager Dan Morgan should kick the tires on an extension for 4th-round left tackle Ikem Ekwonu. While the 2022 first-round pick hasn't established himself as an elite tackle yet, he was a quality starter in 2024. Pro Football Focus graded him 38th among all tackles. While other young tackles like Rashawn Slater and Charles Cross likely to receive extensions in the near future, getting ahead of the market with Ekwonu would be advisable. Okay, you cooking there. And then lastly, he said find cornerback help. And this is what he had to say about this one. Defensively, the Panthers should consider adding a free agent cornerback like Jair Alexander or Stephon Gilmore. Carolina did a good job of addressing its pass rush by using day 2 picks on Nick Scorton and Princely Umamielen. It also extended cornerback J.C. Horn, but it could afford to add more pieces to its pass defense after ranking 30th in net yards per pass attempt allowed last season. Okay. Chris, I'm going to say this. 1, the wide receiver competition needs to be done. No explanation there. Like, I agree with you 100%. We all know, if you're a Panthers fan, you understand. Because we just talked about it last episode. If we're cutting down to 6 wide receivers, we got to have that competition knocked out so we know who our best 6 wide receivers are going to be heading into the season. No, there's no argument there. 2, getting ahead with Icky isn't a bad idea. If you think Icky is part of the future, if you are sold that Ikem Ekwonu is going to be a part of the future long-term, 4 or 5 years down the line, yes, Dan Morgan, go ahead, sign the dotted line, because Ikem Ekwonu has been good. He's been really good as our left tackle. I can't knock the man enough. So I get that if Dan Morgan and the front office, Coach Canales and everybody sees that with Icky, yes, go ahead, get that extension out of the way before he has a great season and a phenomenal season, and you really got to pay the man. Low-key, try to get him before you have to, pay him. And then number 3, find cornerback help, but I would wait before going after Jair, and for all intents and purposes, bro, Stephon Gilmore ain't coming back. Stephon Gilmore is not coming back. He spent 1 year here and was out. Stephon Gilmore is not coming back to this team. I don't care if it is his home. Stephon Gilmore is not coming back. Other corners that are out there, like we've always taught, Asante Samuel, like we like Samuel Jr., like we know there are other corners out there. Jair Alexander, I would hesitate to get him. Hesitate. But I know for a fact Stephon Gilmore ain't coming back, bro. So that's dead in the water. That's where I completely disagree with you. Stephon Gilmore ain't coming back. And then number 3, the top NFL players heading into 2025. So Pete Prisco from CBS Sports has dropped his top 25, his 100 players heading into 2025, right? Saw the list. Look through the list, man. Bro, one issue I have here, there was not a single player from the Carolina Panthers listed in this top 100. And some of you might think, oh, you know what? Hey, bro, it's just because we were a bad team, right? You would think, hey, nobody from a bad team got on this list. Nah. You had players from the Jags, the Titans, the Browns, the Giants, and the Raiders on this list. So being a bad team isn't a knock. So in my head, first thing I'm thinking is, why isn't JC and Chuba on this list? Like, there's got to be some players on here. Bro. In JC's case, right, first 2 names I saw on here that I was like, hold up, we got an argument, were Sauce Gardner, who was ranked 24th. Yes, 24th best player in the league, and Trent McDuffie, who was ranked at 46. Guys, numbers-wise alone, this is just from last season. Because not only that, Jair Alexander was on this list. Christian McCaffrey was on this list. Players who were injury-prone last year were on this list. So injuries and recent injury history definitely don't also take into account on this list. Because when I saw Jair Alexander on here and not JC, I said, oh, nah, something's wrong. And I saw Sauce Gardner on there. I said, wait a minute now. Bro, look at these numbers. JC has more total tackles, solo tackles, the same number of interceptions, more pass deflections, has allowed a lower completion percentage, and the only thing that is better that Sauce Gardner has is literally he's allowed a lower pass rating. That's it. That's it. But JC beats him in every other category. Make that make sense. Shoot, Trent McDuffie actually has a better case than Sauce Gardner. Because at least Trent McDuffie, he has 59 total tackles, 45 solo tackles. He has more interceptions, the same number of pass deflections, has allowed a higher completion percentage, but has allowed a lower pass rating. So at least in McDuffie's case, you can make the argument the man's got more interceptions. He put up almost the same amount of solo tackles, and he's got a better pass rating. Like those, I can concede to. But you got Sauce Gardner as the 24th best player in the league, and JC beats him every single way till Sunday? And you can't say it's injuries. You can't say that. Because you got Jair Alexander on this list. I saw Derek Stingley on that list. That made sense. Derek Stingley beat JC in every category. I was cool with that. But what? Like Patrick Surtain was number 9. I'm cool with that because that makes sense. This didn't make sense. Then when we talk about Chuba Hubbard and we talk about the running back situation, bro, 7 of the top 10 rushing leaders were on this list. Look at the way this list came out. Saquon Barkley, number 1 rushing leader. He was 3rd overall, highest running back. No, makes sense. Derrick Henry, 14th. Bijan Robinson, 39th. Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor's 50th, and Jahmyr Gibbs is 32nd. Like that's crazy. Then you had Josh Jacobs at 6th. Then not only Chuba was passed over, Kyron Williams didn't make this list. Aaron Jones didn't make this list. But Bucky Irvin at 10 jumped 9, 8, and 7. Where is the consistency here, Pat? Where is it? Where is it, bro? Because it's not here. This list, and he doesn't give like a legitimate criteria as to what he utilized to make it. He's like, I know I'm going to receive some flack. Yes, because there's no consistency here, bro. Yes, you're going to receive some flack. There's no consistency on this list. I can't stand that. At least if you would have said, like, when I look at this list, if Kyren Williams had been the seventh and final running back on the top 100 list, like if he was 94th overall, all right, cool. They literally went right down the line, first 7 running backs, that's it. First 7 running backs in terms of rushing yards and everything, cool. Makes sense. Some of you might be like, oh, well, Bucky Irvin had more receiving yards as a running back. Bucky Irvin had 347 receiving yards to Chuba Hubbard's 171, but Chuba Hubbard had a receiving touchdown and Bucky Irvin didn't. So, in terms of a receiving producing back, I mean, what you want to? I can make the argument and flip the numbers. We've talked about how I can push a narrative. So overall, I'm upset because it's not making sense, and I don't like the consistency, bro. I just didn't think that was cool. But we're going to hop over that, guys, and we're going to get back to Panther Nation speaking their truth. I got a few more comments for today's episode, man, and let's go see what the comment section is talking about. So from the last video, I picked up these comments. First one that comes up, this one is talking about the Reed Blankenship trade. This comes from Pearson Braddock 7039. He said, I feel like Reed is a decent player, but he is more of a product of that system. That team is stacked, and I'm not trying to pay another decent Eagles player good money just for them to underwhelm everybody. Miles Sanders. I mean, hey, he not wrong. XL is young, but the pressure for sure is on. We have a lot of unknown receivers in that room. I just hope he is the caliber player of someone you trade into the first round for, which we did. I'm not saying he has to go out and put up crazy numbers, but I do think there is no room for him to have less than 800 yards this season. In my eyes, he would be a disappointment, not quite a bust, if that number is not reached. 800? Considering he put up, 497 last year? With Ted coming in, with Jimmy Horn, with Thielen, with Coker, I would say 650. 650, 700 pushing it. If I'm being a stickler, I would say less than 7. Yeah, I would be a disappointment. Or no. If I'm being a stickler, less than 7 would be a disappointment. But if I'm being realistic, 650 to less than 600 is my disappointment range. But I get where you're going with that. And the Reed Blankenship statement, I can see where he's going with there. Like, Reed, we've never seen Reed in a different system, so we don't know if he's really that good or if he's in a great system. For example, Josh Norman was great in our defensive scheme, but elsewhere, Josh Norman has not been nearly that guy. So I can see where Pearson is talking about. Next comment comes from Kevin Dillinger, 4980. He said, he was talking about the Blankenship trade. He said, so what if we send Jalen Coker, undrafted free agent and high riser, for Reed Blankenship, undrafted free agent high riser, and swap 2026 fourth-round picks? Essentially, no matter how good a player plays, his draft slot always sets up future earnings capabilities. Both of these players in this trade scenario are undrafted free agents, both high risers, so the deal for player swaps and mid-round pick swaps is more than fair in this deal. People always assume that since an undrafted free agent is playing well, a team holding those rights will get a landful for him. Not the case 80% of the time. I say DM, call, offer, and see what Howie says. I ain't gonna front. Kevin, I see where you're going. Panther Nation ain't going to like you because you're trying to get rid of Jalen Coker, and a lot of Panther fans love Jalen Coker. So I'm trying to save you, but I see where you're going. However, the only other issue is do the Eagles need a receiver? That's the thing. That's the reason why I don't think that might not work, is do they need another receiver like a Jalen Coker? Now, if it's anybody else, you might be on to something. And then lastly, the last one comes from DP12277. He says, or he or she says, if Leggett makes that catch against the Eagles, then the Panthers have a whole different draft class and not for the better. So maybe Leggett dropping that pass wasn't so bad after all. Hey, they might got a point. Hey, they might have cooked right there. I don't know. Y'all let me know. But guys, that's the end of this video. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at the bottom so you can always be reminded of when these videos drop. Next, also comment below what you think about trading for TJ Watt. Do you think that's feasible? Do you think it makes sense? Do you think that's even a thing Carolina should indulge in? What do you think about Carolina's to-do list? What are your 3 hot items that Carolina needs to do before week 1? And lastly, how do you feel about no Panther being on CBS Sports top 100 players heading into 2025? Let me know in the comment section below, because at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a skinny brother with 2 tats. Peace. Let's let all you Panther Nation. Take care. Later days. And as always, keep pounding. I'll see you next time.